In the words of William J.H. Boettger, he says, "Beware of the ignorance when in motion, look out for inexperience when in action, and beware of the majority when mentally poisoned with misinformation. For collective ignorance does not become wisdom." It is not business as usual in the Lake region. The spike of COVID-19 has taken a tall order and the infection rate increasing rapidly. The social interaction premium, a worrying phenomenon for the residents and the government of Kenya. It is now 1 year and 6 months since the first case was reported in Kenya. On 15th March 2020, all schools across the country were closed to curb the spread of the virus. Following the reduction of the positivity rate on 10th May 2021, schools and colleges were reopened. The virus is seemingly here to stay, and a new normal must be adapted. The long-lasting, inexpensive, and quickest solution to COVID-19 is to social distance, wearing masks, sanitizing, and maintaining a high level of hygiene to stop the transmission. To the majority of the Maseno University students, it is seemingly putting the cart before the horse.
On the side of students, it is as usual with the young, population that we have. They are always keen to, not very fast at taking instructions, especially when those instructions are impeding on their freedom.
The general attitude of students, from what I have noticed, is not 100% of what you'd have expected. You find, and you even see it around, and I'm sure you have seen it, that when it comes to COVID protocols, some of the rules are being disobeyed, and some seriously. I think you find that most of the students are probably walking around with their masks around their chin. Even in the class, a lot of students do not wear their masks unless they are told or unless they see somebody in authority walking by, then they put it up.
The university administration has tried to uphold 90% of the laid down government measures to curb the spread of the virus.
The containment measures that are there for COVID, one of them was the issue of distance. Now we ensured that all the classes had the marks, where chairs were to be placed when students arrive, okay? So that students don't just converge in one place. Now secondly, we had made sure that we had water everywhere to wash hands and the sanitizers.
Setting different water points for sanitization, putting on posters on notice board and on the walls of the lecture halls, urging students to put on their masks within and outside the varsity premises, categorizing students' fraternity into stand and non-stand alone to attend the semester in different lots to reduce overcrowding around lecture halls and in the university.
So as student actuaries, our main task is to come up with models, actually simulation models, that can help us to foresee and to predict. And again, after predicting, we document so that in the future, if such pandemic strikes again, we'll find ways of mitigating the effects.
The university houses almost 40% of its students within the varsity premises, while 60% seek private accommodation around the varsity.
Allow me to show you some document here. I don't know, maybe I didn't prepare, but there is some document here which is indicated approved off-campus accommodation for students. So all these are the hostels which the university management has approved. The good thing is we are able to follow up to know the hostel is called this, the owner of the hostel, the location of the hostel, the contacts of the person of the hostel, and so on.
The Landlord Association of Maseno University has given its members a strict measure in adhering to the COVID-19 set guidelines to curb the spread of the virus.
The landlords had a seminar, first of all, before students opened, and we addressed the issues of COVID-19 regulations by, first of all, fumigating all the hostels outside, putting into place hand-washing points, ensuring that we have thermogans within our respective hostels, and also having meetings with the respective student, awareness meetings, telling them that when you enter the rooms, first of all, you must have this and this and this, the regulations governing COVID-19. When you ask me about face masks, that one is a mandatory thing. These students have a face mask. And when you ask me about washing their hands, within our hostels, we have hand washing points.
Traders and customers, who are the students, are very closely situated in close proximity to each other, causing possible threat to the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Students, on the other hand, fail to observe the set Ministry of Health measures in masking up, providing social distance, and sanitizing when in such places. Very surprisingly, these students hug in such places without putting on their masks. Luanda Market is another busy market that little COVID-19 measures are observed, more so on Mondays and Thursdays, unknown days for market. Water for sanitation has been abandoned. Locals and the students intermingle freely without proper COVID-19 protection gears. The enforcement in upholding the measures outlined by the government is little, and this poses a great danger to the students' fraternity.
The role of the police is to implement policies issued from time to time by the government. In respect to COVID-19, it is a real challenge to each one of us, and in particular, as the security agents.
We have all felt the pinch of this pandemic, either directly or indirectly.
I'm Dennis Omwandi, year 3, doing medicine and surgery. It has really made us change on how we do things.
It has become a problem to us as the students, since issues dealing with food, for example, supper, we have to take it earlier. We have those who come for lectures this side at Siriba campus, yet they are coming from far, that is from vet institutions, and they have to hurry, which is also a problem.
The teaching staff of Maseno University have been relentless with the students in their various lecture halls. It is observed that COVID-19 measures are more adhered to in the lecture halls than any other place within and around the varsity.
Every effort to fight the pandemic is done from the background that this is something that was new to all of us.
This is a positive indicator of the commitment of the varsity administration towards safe center for learning. Students, however, make fun out of the situation and want to play hide-and-seek game with the authorities mandated to enforce these measures.
Curfew! You're wasting our time,
We are calling upon the students to be our change agents within the society. We want to use you to pass this same message to fellow students and the rest of the Republic. We want each one of us to be involved. You have a role to play, the police have a role to play. This is not a one-man issue, it is a collective responsibility.
Sisi kama security hapa gate ya Maseno main campus, kuna yale maagizo tumepewa na wakubwa wetu pamoja na management ya university kwamba kuna mtu yote anahitajika kuingia, awe student ama awe staff yoyote, hana ruhusa hata kitoko kuingia ndani bila kupimwa choto, na hata hivyo bila kunawa mikono yake. Okay, ukiangalia pale mbele kuna ile signpost imeandika stop COVID-19, wash your hands here. Okay, hiyo ni ishara bora kwamba iwapo utakuwa unakuja sehemu ya mbele ya kuingia kwenye lango hili, ukishaona hivyo mara moja utaenda mwenyewe pale kwa zile maji ya mfereji, maji inayomwagika inayoteremka. Kuna sabuni pale, utaosha mikono yako mbili. Ukishamaliza kuosha mikono yako mbili pale, utaenda kwa lango ndoko hapa. Pale kuna yule askari ambaye atakuhudumiwa, kuna mashini kama hii, utapima temperature hivi. Ukishapima temperature, iwapo inawezekana pia utamuonyesha temperature ile aweze kujua hali yake, temperature yake, joto yake iko namna gani. Okay. Hapo ndani pia kuna ingine imewekwa kwa ukuta pale karibu na nyumba ya ofisi ya security. Kuna vile unaweza ukaenda wewe mwenyewe ukajipima temperature, pia nao iko sawa.
The informal Maseno and Luanda market, which is dominated by small-scale traders who are majorly women, have had their equal share of the negative impact of the virus.
Corona imetuaffect sana kwa maana pesa hakuna kwa watu, ingawaje bidhaa tuko nayo tunauza na pesa hakuna. Mtu anakuja na malalamishi. Sasa hata tunashindwa hii kazi yenyewe tutafanya aje juu pesa ndio hakuna kabisa, ingawaje bidhaa iko lakini hatuuzi. Hata mkiangalia mnaona niko na stock hapa ya kutosha lakini wanunuzi hakuna.
The social economic space has been interfered with and the traders have nothing to scavenge but minimize the little profit they make on their daily basis.
Janga la corona limeniadhiri kwa upande wa biashara, sasa hii imezoroteka, uchumi imerudi chini. Vile tulikuwa tunafanya biashara hapo nyuma imekuwa ngumu, sasa hizi tunapata mapato kidogo. Sasa kuna vile imetudhuru tu sana sisi kama wafanya biashara. Kuna wale wao wanavaa mask, wanazingatia sheria, lakini kuna wale wengine unapata ndio wamevaa lakini hawajavaa sahihi vile inatakikana. Wengine unapata wamevalia kwa kidevu, wengine wamevalia tu vizuri, wengine hawana.
The impact of the pandemic is far-reaching and there is often mismatch in the attitude of the COVID-19 pandemic and the set measures.
We are a testing laboratory for infectious diseases and COVID-19 just happens to be one of them. To do this, we receive samples from the Kisumu County and from other parts of Kenya and test those samples, the nasal swabs, we look for the virus, and after we identify the virus, the individuals with the virus, we pass that information to the county Ministry of Health and also to the government, and this is part of what you hear, you see the statistics that you see every day being announced in the radio.
The government of Kenya has elevated the pandemic to the level of national security and instituted measures to mitigate its spread and impact. The human impulse behind the isolation of class is as basic as impulses get. People like to be around other people who understand them and to whom they can talk to. To Maseno University, the new normal is not new anymore. Overcrowding in social places without protective gears for COVID-19 is the order of the day. The student political space, recreational activities, and sports gathering is a tall order. As Mohith Agadi sums it is their will that plays part in solidarity and not their social interaction space.